So in last two sessions, like constructors part 1 and part 2, I given the concept of constructors and destructors and types of constructors. Simple programs. I mean the concept is explained with the simple program so that it will be very easy for the newcomers. In this session, I am giving the theory part along with some demo programs as per textbook notations. So constructor is a special member function and which is invoked automatically when the object is created. And the purpose is to initialize the data items of the class. What are the rules to be followed? Constructor has the same name as the name of the class and do not return any data type, and they are usually declared in public section. All the member functions in general we declare in public section only, as constructor is also a special member function. Constructor can be even private also, but private access modifier will hide that constructor from outside the class. So once I make it private, it's of no use. But we have something called friend function, the concept of friend functions in C++, with which we can use the private data outside the class also. We'll be discussing in detail in the topic friend functions. We can have more than one constructor in a class. We can have any number of constructors. What do you mean by term overloading? Here the term overloading, there are two types of things in C++, function overloading and operator overloading, which we'll be discussing in a polymorphism. If no constructor is defined, a default constructor is executed by the compiler. And the default constructor do not take any parameter. Look at some small mistake. It is default customer. No, it is default constructor. So constructor defined by the programmer may or may not take the parameters. And we can have inline constructors also, and on the topic of inline we will be discussing later. So constructor can have any type of arguments except its own class type. That is very important here. But you can accept a reference, which we will be discussing in copy constructor, and we cannot refer to their address. That is also important here. Look at the demonstration program. This is a textbook notation. What is the class name? Class name is recharge. And what are the member data? Customer ID, amount, validity, which are private here. In public we have one constructor declaration with three arguments, int, comma, int, comma, int, and we have one void display. These two are declarations, and these two are defined outside the class with the help of scope relation operator. Look at the definition part of the constructor. Customer ID is equal to A, amount is equal to B, and validity is equal to C. And in display we are just displaying customer ID and amount and validity. In the main program, object is created. Two objects are there, CUST1, customer 1 and customer 2. Once the object is created, the control will be transferred to the constructor, and all the statements defined in the constructor will be executed. So types of constructors: default, parameterized, and copy constructor. What do you mean by default constructor? As in my sessions I clearly specified constructors without parameters. So any constructor without parameters, or even the parameters have default values, is known as default constructor. As I told you earlier, if no constructor is defined by the programmer, then the compiler implicitly creates a default constructor without body. If there are non-default constructors in the program, then the compiler does not create default constructor. If no constructor is defined by the programmer, then only the compiler implicitly creates a default constructor. If there are non-default constructors, then the compiler does not create default constructor. Any class can have at most one default constructor only. That is very important here. So look at the program. What's the class name? CAL underscore power member data NP. We have a constructor declaration. Look at that. Int a is equal to 10 comma b is equal to 2. A default constructor with default arguments. Here two arguments are assigned with a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 2. Even one can be possible, but it must be the left hand side one only, which I already given clearly in my last session. So here it is defined outside the class, and look at the object C1. Once object is created automatically. So what is to be noted out is even though it is having default arguments here, but they are assigned with values. So that is the reason at the time of object creation we are not specifying any values. In my last session I clearly explained, what if you specify values here? It overrides. Like here, if I write CAL power C1 within brackets 20 comma 30, these values 20 comma 30 will be considered. It overrides the previously assigned values. So constructors with arguments. We can call the parameterized constructor implicitly or explicitly. And what is copy constructor? It is used to declare and initialize an object from some existing object. Always copy constructor takes a reference to the object of same class as an argument. And very important is copy constructor cannot accept argument by value. It always takes a reference. Look at the syntax. And C. C is your object, which is passed as an argument and by reference. So we can have multiple constructors, and we use the term overloading because all the constructors will have the same name as class name. Look at the program. What is the class name? Demo. So how many constructors we have? One default constructor, one parameterized constructor, and one copy constructor. All are declared. All are declared inside the class definition. Means you are going to define them outside the class. Look at the parameterized constructor with two arguments, int a comma int b. No confusion regarding these type of declarations. In general, in declarations we don't specify the variables, so we simply write int comma int. Look at copy constructor, demo and d. D is an object. What comes after class name is an object. As it is passed by reference, we use the symbol and. What do you mean by const? Cannot be changed. Constant. Look at the definition parts. Look at the definition of copy constructor. X is equal to d dot x and y is equal to d dot y. So the data of object D is copied to another object. Look at D1, demo D1 of 10 comma 20 means you are creating an object, initializing an object. It automatically calls the constructor 2, that is parameterized constructor. 10 is passed to A and 20 is passed to B. So d1 dot display. Look at this clearly. Demo d2 is equal to demo d1. Object d2 is created and the data of d1 is copied to d2. This is what we are doing in copy constructor. If you have any doubt in copy constructor, you please refer my session, last session, where I have given a simple program. So copy constructor is used to initialize an object using another, and to copy an object, to pass it as an argument by value to a function, and also to copy the object to return it from a function by value. Look at another demonstration program. We have one default constructor, we have parameterized constructor, and we have one copy constructor. So all are defined outside the class. Look at this definition clearly. SVM sum. Which is taking one object as an argument. Complex scopulation operator SVM sum within brackets complex C. What do you mean by complex? See, if I write int SVM, what do you mean by that? You are going to return an integer. If I write class name, then you are going to return some object. That is very important here. If I write int sum, void sum means you are not going to return anything. If I write int sum, you are going to return some integer type of data. If I write class name, means you are going to return some object. Look at the things clearly. Complex temp. A temporary object is created. Temp dot real is equal to real plus c dot real. Temp dot img is equal to img plus c dot img. And these statements are very important in C++. And return temp. You are returning the object. Once I am returning the object means you need to specify the class name. So look at the main part. C1 is created object. 5, 4 means parameterized constructor is invoked. C2 is equal to C1. It invokes copy constructor. And C3 is equal to C1 dot SVM of C2. And this is very important part in C++. C1 dot SVM of C2. You are copying the data of, means you are adding the data of two objects, C1 and C2, and is stored in C3. temp dot real is equal to real plus c dot real is nothing but C3 dot real is equal to C1 dot real plus C2 dot real. Please make a note. Please make a note. C3 is equal to C1 dot SVM within bracket C2. C2 is passed to C there. So temp dot real is equal to real plus c dot real is nothing but C3 dot real is equal to C1 dot real plus C2 dot real. C3 dot img is equal to C1 dot img plus C2 dot img. the real part of C1 added to real part of C2 and is assigned to real part of C3. Similarly, imaginary also. So C3 is equal to C1 dot SUM of C2. This is very important. We are not passing two objects as arguments. We can pass only one. Look at that. Only C2 is passed. C2 is passed to C. So temp dot real is equal to real plus C dot real. We just go through the explanation part. The data of one object is added to data of another object and is assigned to third object. C3 dot real is equal to C1 dot real plus C2 dot real. C3 dot imaginary is equal to C1 dot imaginary plus C2 dot imaginary. Instead of writing that, we simply the statement C3 is equal to C1 dot SUM of C2. Any destructor for destroying an object. An object gets destroyed when its scope of existence finishes or when the delete operator is used. Of course, we can use delete operator. In generally, we use delete operator if you allocate memory using new operator. Now, what are rules to be followed in destructor? It's a special member function, so same name we have to use as class name and preceded by tilde symbol. Destructors do not have any return data type, even void. It will be called automatically once object goes out of scope. And destructors cannot be inherited. We don't bother about inheritance, which we will be discussing in another chapter. Look at the simple program. We have one constructor and we have one destructor. In all the programs, whatever I explained in earlier sessions, I didn't use anything like using namespace, std, semicolon. Don't bother about all those things. Some three objects are created. Just try to observe the output of the program always. In my last session, I given a demonstration program for destructors where I use a block also. So always try to observe the difference between each and every program.